So we have to format the presentation so you can see it. I'm sorry for coming in late. Today, like the evangelist has said, we are continuing on personal evangelism. The bigger thing is that of learning to be fishers of men. So today we're going to study the things which hinder our personal evangelism. On Wednesday, like he has said, we talked about the issues that will make us do personal evangelism and evangelism as a whole in a better way. We also learned that a church that does not do something is bound to die. And members who are there in the church and are not making effort to do something towards the growth of the church are like pallbearers that will drive the heads down into the mortuary. So today we are going to look at those things that hinder us having personal evangelism. The introduction is that our cause, our problem, why we don't make progress, is when we have cold hearts, and then eyes that don't feel sad and shed tears for the fate of the unbeliever. Then lips that are closed cannot open to tell the world that Jesus is Lord, and heavy feet. But even when they know what to do, their feet are so heavy and they're not able to move towards evangelizing the world for the sake of salvation. And then fruitless lives in a world of sin and sinners. Last Wednesday, we heard that anybody that has been able to bring a soul to Christ usually has some contentment, some happiness that comes from the sense of achievement. So a fruitless life, one that has never brought a convert, one that has never even preached the gospel, is a life that is spent fruitless. So one of the reasons why we don't have personal evangelism is lack of effort. We don't make effort at all. We believe we cannot do it. So that's cold heart, closed lips, heavy feet. We don't believe we can do it. And this lack of effort originates from ignorance of the fact that it is our duty. The Bible clearly tells us in Matthew 28:18-20 that we should go into the world and make disciples, teaching them to observe all things that we have been commanded. So we don't understand that it is not an optional thing. It doesn't matter whether you like it or you don't like it. It is a command. Go therefore and make ye disciples. It is a matter of duty to all Christians. The great command is for all Christians to go and evangelize. And in fact, it is the main duty of man to go and tell others what God has done for you, so that they too will see it and come to love Him and save their lives. Timothy 2:2, which we read on Wednesday, says that we should get the word of God and give them to faithful men who are to teach others. And this will bring about exponential growth. Get the truth, teach to faithful men, and they too will teach others. 2 Timothy 2:2. Maybe we should just read that today again. 2 Timothy 2:2. And the things you have heard, we say, in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to reliable men who will also be qualified to teach others. So the Christians are reliable men and women that, having heard the gospel, should hand over to other people and teach to other people so that they will be able to come to the Lord. Hebrews 5:11-14. By this time you ought to be teachers. I said earlier that all Christians are the faithful men and women that have heard the gospel, and by this time, having been converted, having seen the good news, the fact that Jesus came to die and save us, we should be good teachers by this time, and we ought to be teaching others. Matthew 25:14-30, the parable of the talents. The master dealt with the servants individually, not as a group. Some people had many talents, and the person had one, and instead of investing it or giving it back to the master, he went and buried it. All are familiar with this. So that's not a good example. Having received a talent, you should be able to pass it to other people, so that they will see the Lord for what He is and come back to you. And the second reason why personal evangelism does not progress is when no interest is made of those that are lost. As you feel you have been saved and you don't have any interest for your brothers and sisters, co-workers, neighbors who don't know the truth and are bound to get lost. I also said on Wednesday that the issue about the Church of Christ is not just the name. It's not every member of the Church of Christ, I'm sorry to say, that will make heaven. But those that are outside the Church of Christ will most likely not make heaven unless they change their minds. And the truth is that the Church of Christ is built upon the truth of the Bible and only the Bible. If you say you're not satisfied or you don't believe the Church of Christ is the only place where you can be saved, if you go to other churches where they have a general overseer, then you know, because you've been taught that that's not the way it should be. If you go to where they play music and dance during worship, you know that ought not to be the way. You go to a place where they still practice tithing, then of course you know that's not the way. Therefore, if you do not belong to where these things are taught the biblical ways, then of course you are doomed to be lost. And all your friends, neighbors, family members who do not seek God in the right place, entering the right vessel to take them to the right or the destination of eternal life, then they will be lost. Therefore, we as Christians should be seeking and saving the lost as the primary concern of Jesus was. So we, who are His image, His likeness, Christians, Christ-like, are supposed to have the interest of the lost as our primary concern. It is to be our primary focus, the lost. Jesus said He didn't come to seek the righteous, but He came primarily to seek and save the lost. Romans 9:1-3. Can you read that? Romans 9:1-3. I speak the truth in Christ. I am not lying. My conscience confirms it in the Holy Spirit. 2. I have great sorrow and unceasing anguish in my heart. 3. For I could wish that I myself were cursed and cut off from Christ for the sake of my brothers, those of my own race. So this was Paul giving an example that he wished that he could be lost so that his brothers would be saved. And we are witness to the fact that he went conscientiously preaching the gospel, propagating and suffering a lot throughout the book of Acts. You can see what Paul did, and all the books that he had written in the New Testament attest to the fact that he wished that all who he knew were saved. An improper attitude towards the lost. Some Christians believe the lost are sinners and should not be associated with. But as Christians, you should try to break the barrier and let them know what you know, that the Lord is good. So, to do this, we should reflect the self-righteousness of the Pharisees. When they felt they were so good, and we know the prayer that a Pharisee made, that he is not like this other person, he is a sinner. So we should cut the level of self-righteousness. Mostly that some of us, members of the church, are arrogant. The fact that we believe we are already saved, and as such, we are the only ones who are saved. We are arrogant about it. We feel self-righteous, even though sometimes, or most times, we don't practice that which we preach. So we should, with humility, practice what is right and seek the lost, so that they too can serve you too. We should have the attitude of the prodigal son's elder brother. And some of us have that attitude. We know the story when the prodigal son came back home. The elder brother, who has been very honest and hardworking in the father's house, was unhappy. And so much was poured, so much party or encomium was poured on the prodigal son, whereas he who was there seemed to have been shortchanged. Those of us in the church feel too self-righteous that when even a brother who has fallen before is being restored, we're not happy. But when new people come in, we claim we were foundation members, and as such we are hostile and arrogant towards those who have come, newer people to the church. So when we have the attitude of Nami first day there, we are the foundation members. Were you there when we started? Then we're not doing well, because this will not attract members into the fold. Then one of the reasons again why we don't do well in evangelism is that we are waiting for the church to organize a program. We are not proactive. And even when this program is being organized, we are just observers. We've gone for open air many times. And sometimes even bringing chairs, bringing the public address system is not well organized, and the program tends to fail. And the members who should, probably because they know more about electricity and other things, for example, stand aside, and the program might fail. So every local church needs to be greatly concerned with the task of reaching for the lost. As individuals, though, we have the responsibility to seek out and teach lost souls, whether or not the church ever organizes a program. On Wednesday, we told ourselves that personal evangelism, or every Christian, is a mobile Bible, that mobile episode that people see and read from your actions, your dressings, your speeches, those you associate with. You attract people to Christ, and people will seek to know this nice person. Where does he worship? If we don't do well, then we are not performing that task of reaching out to the lost. Spending all our time talking about it, personal evangelism needs to be considered and discussed among brethren. When 2 or 3 gather, what do you discuss? You discuss about how to make your local congregation better and how to reach out to people via evangelism. Merely talking about it will not accomplish anything. Faith without work is dead. We have to show the faith, and we have to do the work so that people will be brought to Christ. Inadequacies of our efforts. Sometimes we make effort, but it's not adequate. Sometimes we are overly cautious, being afraid to offend anyone. Sometimes we don't even want to tell the Muslims that what they're doing is not right. We want to be politically right. But the truth is, the truth remains for what it is. And it's better to tell the truth with humility, not arrogantly, but not to talk at all, so that you won't be politically wrong, is not the way forward. When Obama was ruling, of course, we did not talk about same-sex marriage, did not condemn it. But now Trump has come, and he has said clearly it's not right. What the Christians have been saying, they got to a stage that when we worship abroad, among the brethren, they are very, very careful to mention that same-sex marriage is wrong. So as Christians, sometimes we are very cautious. We don't want to talk about certain things so that we don't get our brothers and sisters, family members offended. This attitude causes one to soften and compromise the message of the gospel. Even this local congregation, sometimes when announcement is being made or when the leaders talk, people believe we are being too hard, the man too hard. But the truth is, you can't be too hard about telling the truth. The attitude should be that if it is the truth that's being told, you should be humble and honest enough to accept that that's the truth, irrespective of who is being offended. As far as it's done with humility and with love, we as Christians should be able to say it the way it is, not minding what the outcome will be. Then the opposite is being too anxious. This causes one to want action right away. You talk to somebody about Christ and he argues. You talk about he brings another argument and you get discouraged. You get angry. You don't understand why this person cannot believe what he's saying. Because we are being overly anxious. And quite often, those with this attitude resort to high pressure tactics in their teaching. We know that we can do all what we need to do. Jesus said we should go into the world and teach them that which we know and leave the rest to God. God is the one who will bring the increase. The use of wrong appeals, friendliness of the congregation, the building's air conditioning, beauty or comfort, etc. are typical of the improper appeals some use to attract the interest and attention of others. It's comfortable that we have air conditioners here, but if there's no air conditioner, will we not worship? Some people go out and boast that, oh, come and worship because we have fully air-conditioned hall. Or maybe as we are building a befitting meeting place, we use this to attract people. Well, this is not wrong on its own, but if you put this as the wrong reason why people should come to church. About a year ago in a local congregation here, people had the belief that once you come, they will pay your school fees, they will pay your rent, they will give you jobs, people are well connected, and when they come and this is not happening, then people are disappointed and they tend to fall away. So people should be told the truth about Christ, that Jesus came to die and save our soul, that at the end of this world, there's another world that is better. At the end of this life, there's life that will never end. And they better make the right choice of being for Christ or being for hell. So if we tell them the truth, then encourage them that when we come here, yes, we encourage one another, and if we seek God with all the righteousness, other things will definitely be added unto you. But not that we are coming for the other things without seeking for Christ, the main purpose of why we are here. We are here because we want to guide one another, support one another, help one another to get to everlasting life. We are not here because we distribute food. We are not here because we pay people's rent. We are not here because we provide for everybody's need. However, as a church, when there's need, and we see pressing reasons, and of course, we can do things benevolent as the need arises for individuals. There's one valid appeal. You cannot go to heaven if you do not obey the gospel. So where do you stay to obey the gospel? The gospel says you should not forsake the assemblies of the saints. Other righteousness will be in your homes, will not be able to come together. So we come together because the Bible says we must do so. And there's just that one valid reason that we should come to church so that we can obey the gospel. Ungodliness in our lives also hamper our personal evangelism. To be a positive influence for good, you must live a godly life. Romans 2:21. Can we see that? Romans 2:21. You then who teach others, do not teach yourself. You who preach against stealing, do you steal? If you practice what you preach. And the more you teach and talk about God, the more you are versed with it. Like when you're in school and you have tutorial groups where we are broken into small groups and everybody is made to try to teach. And in so doing, you are also teaching yourself. And you learn to practice what you preach. A lack of conversion. Too many Christians, no matter what they profess, are still living for self. Many people who are here are not really convicted and convinced of why they should be members of the Church of Christ. There's a manual we are trying to go through why I am a member of the Church of Christ. If you are convinced about each of those points, then of course you'll be able to defend the faith, you'll be able to preach it to other people, you'll be able to stand firm even when the going gets very, very rough. When you go to another community where they profess Christianity, you will feel like water, like a fish out of water, because you clearly see that what they are preaching is not what the Bible says. So Christians should be really converted and convinced within them that they don't live for themselves or for material things, they live for Christ. Christians who are not well convinced lack or fail to deny themselves and are not transformed into living sacrifices. Romans 12, 1-2. Therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. 2. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is good, pleasing, and perfect will. If you are not convinced, then you will not be able to test the promises that God has made for each and every one of us. So you should be living sacrifices, transformed and not conforming to the current trending issues that happen in the world. A lack of conversion makes one not to view themselves as servants. They want to be lords wherever they are, and that will not make room for self-evangelism, individual evangelism. Improper tactics. Some people are blunt or harsh. I already said that. Remember in the early days, I think it's getting less now. Once somebody gets up to talk, another person will say it is a scriptural argument, but not necessary. When you take this to people who are new babes, the body of Christ, it causes them to draw back and maybe stop coming to church. Some seem to delight in telling people they are going to hell. You must speak the truth in law, and we must speak the truth. It is obvious that if you are not in Christ, you'll be heading to hell. And how we tell people might be what makes the difference. Tell people in law, tell the people without being too harsh, without sounding too self-righteous and arrogant. We must speak the truth in love, not with arrogance. Ephesians 4:15. One of the ways that's considered an inappropriate tactic is approaching a person at an inappropriate time We should respect people's privacy and their time, and try to talk to people when it is convenient or when it is more appropriate. Cornering someone in an embarrassing situation in the front of friends or families, and then you just start hounding the person about how you'll be going to hell. The first reaction will be the person will revolt. So the method is very important. Consider the barber who raised his razor and asked his customer, "Are you ready to die?" Just in a bid to convince him to become a Christian. Some proper tactics include speak the truth in love. Please note here that it has to be the truth. The truth has to be said. But how you say it might influence how the person will react. Have to be gentle. 1 Thessalonians 2:7. When telling the truth, you can still be gentle. 1 Thessalonians 2:7. But we were gentle among you, like a mother caring for her little child. When a new convert comes into the church, we consider the person as a new child and should be treated as such. The elders, recently discussed about a particular person who was very, very difficult, even though they were having a family crisis. And recently, there seems to be an improvement. And the person now called the elder and said, "Look, I'm back to my wife." The elder said, "You know why we did this fellowship? Because you were a new convert. And we wanted you to grow." So we need to be gentle. We need to speak the truth. We need to be wise as serpents and gentle as doves when we're trying to propagate the gospel. We should answer others with meekness and fear. 1 Peter 3:15. Patience, meekness, respect, love is what we need to show when we are propagating the gospel. Let your speech be with grace, seasoned with salt. If people get offended, let it be because of the truth, not because of your blundering efforts. Then the truth has to be told. If somebody is angry because you are telling the truth, leave it to God. But not because you were arrogant, the way your approach was too holier than thou and made the person to revolt. Deficiency in our knowledge of the Bible can make our efforts not to work. Do you ever have a salesman try to sell you a product about which he knew nothing about? God's worker is to study that he or she might properly use the gospel of the word. 2 Timothy 2:15. 2 Timothy 2:15. Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a workman who does not need to be ashamed and who correctly handles the word of truth. So, brethren, we've talked about personal evangelism and the issues that make it not to work, the things that hinder it. In conclusion, if we walk upon marble, it will perish. If we walk upon brass, time will efface it. If we raise temples, they will crumble into dust. But we walk upon the immortal minds. We imbue them with principles. With the just fear of God and love of our fellow man, we engrave on those tablets something that will brighten to all eternity. The soul of man is supposed to be saved. So if you succeed in pressing people to embrace the truth and their lives become saved, they would have made an indelible mark on the sands of time. And such people, even if they forget you, God will never forget. So the best place to make an impression is on fellow men who will be engraved and something that will brighten to all eternity. May God bless our lesson today. may we continue to be worthy examples of self-evangelists. May we continue to work hard to pass the word to able men so that we will continue to be taken along as life continues. God bless us all in this effort in Jesus' name.
Amen.